Good
What's up,
morning
guys?
and welcome. What's up? We have a fun Chain Crew episode today. We got Dom and Carter here. It is 9 a.m. my time, 10 a.m. their time. So if we look a little disheveled, it's because some of us don't have control on Friday nights, and that's where we're at.
True.
But we're gonna do some more NFL Reddit today, and some NFL Reddit React, brought to you by our incredible NFL subreddit reader Dom himself. It's Dom, so I'm gonna let him take it away.
We actually brought Carter here for an intervention, and we're just recording it live, is what we're actually doing.
Carter.
I closed down one bar in the whole year of 2025, and the boys lose their mind.
Yep, pretty much. Pretty much.
You know.
All right. Well, I'm happy to be here. I like your Grizz hat.
It's not mine, actually. Donovan left it here, and I kind of just decided to steal it today because we walked the dog, and I didn't have a hat by the door. So, get shit on, buddy. I don't know what to tell you.
Thanks. Perfect. That's what I
Get
wanted
owned,
to hear.
Donovan.
Makes me so happy.
You Jags fan bum.
Oh, boy.
We got some interesting posts today. I think they're going to start some good discussions.
Love it.
That's pretty much the theme I wanted to go with here, was to have some good discussions. So, post number 1. Why did Carter stay out so late last night?
I think I got an answer.
Okay.
Personally, for me, I'm not a psychologist. I think he's having an identity crisis.
That's literally what the top comment is, word for word. So I think you nailed it.
Identity
100,000 upvotes.
Oh my God.
Identity crisis.
You know, all joking aside, Carter's ability. I tell everyone this. There's a scene. Oh man, it's a Vince Vaughn movie, and I'm forgetting what it is, but it's the one where he has like 1,000 kids. No, it's the one where he has like 1,000 kids because he's a sperm
Delivery
donor.
Man.
Delivery Man. And there's a scene where his dad says to him, he says, and I quote, You're not a good delivery man. You're actually the worst delivery man we've ever had, but everyone loves you." And that is Carter in a nutshell. That is like his ability to go
You're
out
terrible
alone.
at everything, but we love you regardless.
I don't know if he's
you even have a
at stuff.
terrible QB on your team in real life.
I hate you.
Carter's ability to go out, he shut down a bar alone, made a bunch of new friends. My anxiety could never. Carter's ability to walk in a room
sound like
become...
when you say alone, it makes it sound like he was hallucinating and he was like under a bridge talking to like trees and birds and shit.
I wasn't there. I can't.
Come
I don't
on,
know.
guys.
I don't know. He might have been.
Shots.
No, but his ability to go into a bar and just become the focal point where everyone's like, I want to talk to that guy. I go in a bar and I start trying to talk to people and they're like, ew, get away from me.
Why are you in my house at 3 a.m.? I don't know who you are.
I don't care about aluminum.
I have a few things to say. First,
Okay.
I doubt this is a Reddit story.
I promise you, top Reddit story of the day.
Second, shout out to Nate. Thank you for listening. Shout out to Shane if you are listening. Thanks for the car. And
Fuck 'em
shout out
both.
to the homies that I made last night. It was fun to talk football. It was fun to play pool. It's fun to just go somewhere random and have a good vibe and meet people that have a good vibe. It's fun to talk football with strangers. I mean, we were talking shit about the Vikings. Some guy brought up JJ McCarthy and I cried. We talked about Drake May and the Patriots because this guy had a Pats hat on. You know, you can make
Top 5.
a simple little drink at a bar into a Reddit story. That is the beauty of life, brother. And last night I did not mean to stay out that fucking late, but I don't regret it. I had a good time.
How late were you out?
I accidentally closed the bar down at like 2:30. I walked home, got home at 3, ate a pizza, probably went to bed at 4.
Beautiful.
I was hung shoeing in my bed. Honk shoe.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do the rest
You're
of the
not gonna
day.
believe.
Please read a goddamn Reddit story about the NFL, please.
Okay.
You're not gonna believe
I'm
this. I was asleep.
done. Yep. We were in the same bed, actually.
Is that the next Reddit story? Schmigs and Dom, secret lovers.
Yeah. That is the second Reddit story. Well, second to last. It was going to be an announcement later on. But first Reddit question, not really a story. It's about like 12 words long, but it's a good discussion. Where would peak Julio Jones rank today? Among wide receivers, would he be the best? That's a good talking point, I thought. I'll
It's an
say my point
incredible
after you guys
question.
say yours, because I feel like I have a pretty good stance on this.
Ooh, God, dude. We've only got one or two fast, huge wingspan, incredibly physical receivers now in the NFL. Like I think of DK Metcalf, but his route running in my mind isn't amazing. Like T. Higgins is tall. You know, we got a lot of fast guys. Justin Jefferson can do it all, but he's not like super built. I think that Julio would be incredibly hard to cover in the NFL right now because his route running was great. He caught everything. He was fast as fuck for how built he was.
Yeah.
I think Julio, as long as he's got freaking Joe Flacco slinging him 15 targets a game, Julio's a top 6, top 7 receiver in the NFL right now. I think peak Julio, maybe honestly, probably better than that. Probably top 4.
I was gonna say top 6 is crazy, dude.
What? That's a compliment. How's that crazy?
Because that's like saying Megatron in the NFL today would be like top 6. Like, do we really think he wouldn't be like number 1? Probably. I mean, Megatron would easily be number 1 in the NFL right now. Julio Jones would probably be number 1 to me. But I think the only 2 guys built like him are A.J. Brown and Nico Collins. Those guys are both like built. And, you know, A.J. Brown is closer because he's faster than Nico Collins, at least as far as I can tell. At least game speed, he looks a lot faster. He's on a team with no QB. Carter, flag behind you. You can understand that. But... But maybe if A.J. Brown, when he gets traded to the Patriots, he'll start looking like Julio Jones, right? But some of the comments here, someone said Uno is where he would be ranked. And then someone said, not true, Chase and Jay Jettis would be better. Also, y'all are definitely about to be like, you didn't watch him play or you don't know ball. I don't know, man. Schmeeg, you give us your take while I look up some Julio stats to say.
My take is gonna be a little bit devil's advocate, so feel free. So get ready to completely dump on it. The only thing I will say is Julio Jones. I don't even know that name.
He hasn't put up any yards in the past 2 years.
Yeah, I do remember when it was like one of my favorite matchup stories of all time was when NFL Red Zone panned to like a 34-year-old Julio matched up against a 34-year-old Josh Norman. It's like, you wouldn't believe this, but back in the day, this was a crazy matchup.
That was pretty much Aaron Rodgers versus Flacco the other night.
Yes.
But cinema.
That game was great.
But when I look at like who are the guys doing numbers right now, Emeka Ibuka, Puka Nacua, Jason, these are not guys known for size speed. And I'm not saying that I just think the meta in the NFL, I think there was a time when size, speed, and like getting guys open downfield was really important. I think the 2 high safety looks teams are giving now and playing a lot more prevent defense has made guys who kind of prioritize getting open in the mid to shallow routes a lot more kind of wide receiver 1 material these days.
Yes.
And those are the guys doing numbers. So would he be top 5 by like talent? Yes. Would he be top 5 in yards and touchdowns? I don't know. I don't know if with this 2 high safety look, if he'd be getting open downfield, because that just doesn't. The guys who are winning right now are guys who are just really great route runners, getting open 20 to 30 yards downfield.
Love that.
I know that's a bit of devil's advocate take, but
makes a lot of sense, buddy.
I'm going to have to disagree. I would say Julio Jones would be number 1. I mean, he's a top 10 receiver of all time.
But who's his quarterback? Who's his quarterback today? You got Drake May. You got J.J. McCarthy. You got Daniel Jones. Who's throwing to him? Joe Flacco. Like,
Well, if he's on the Falcons, then it's Michael Penix, who's been feeding Drake London the ball.
Drake
Drake London
Yeah.
isn't half the receiver that Julio Jones was. So, I mean, okay, let
That's-
me just throw out some stats for you guys. Okay, from
okay.
2014 to 2019, let me just say his stats to you. Okay, this is going to remind you a lot of a guy we currently have in the NFL, who's probably the best receiver in the NFL. Okay, 2014, 104 catches, 1,600 yards, 6 touchdowns. 2015, 136 catches, 1,871 yards, 8 touchdowns. 2016, 83 catches, 1,400 yards, 6 touchdowns. 2017, 88 catches, 1,444 yards, 3 touchdowns. Because I mean, he just always got tackled on the one. He had Calvin Johnson syndrome. He would get to like the 2 or the 1 and be tackled, and then they wouldn't throw it to him on the goal line for some reason. 2018, 113 catches, 1,677 yards, 8 touchdowns. 2019, final year of his prime before his hamstring injury and shit came up. 99 catches, 1,394 yards, 6 touchdowns. I mean, that's a freaking 6-year span of him probably averaging like 1,600 yards a season with, 7, 8 touchdowns. He was unbelievable. I mean,
Yeah.
for my money, if I'm going to pick any receivers of the past, like 15 or so years, I would pick Megatron, and then I'd probably pick Julio Jones.
And then
behind him.
OBJ. You love OBJ.
I do love Odell. Odell before the injuries was, I mean, just one of the best I've ever seen. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say whether he would be, better than Chase and Jefferson, because it's hard to like compare those things, but he'd at least be like, if Jefferson and Chase are 1A and 1B, he'd be 1C. I mean, I just don't see a world where he wouldn't at least be, tied for number 1 with those guys, because I mean, I feel like it's pretty agreed upon by most of the NFL community that those guys are like the 1A and 1B wide receivers of the NFL. So that's just my take. Julio is one of the best I've ever seen. He literally put on a superhero show with some of his catches in the Super Bowl against the Patriots and almost put the game away by himself, but they didn't give him the ball enough. So
28-3.
That's my thought on it. So yeah, I think he would be at minimum top 3 or 2. And it just depends on how good his QB performs, essentially.
I think if we're talking overall talent-wise, I agree with you. But like kind of to Carter's point, I think situation-wise and stuff, I'm not 100% certain his numbers would be. But that's hard to say because Chase just had such a monster game. He might be taking the lead here soon.
Dude,
might be
dead
over.
ass. Oh, sorry, not to interrupt you. Go ahead. I'll say my thought in a second.
You're good. I mean, you're probably going to say exactly what I was going to say. Is like he might just suddenly be wide receiver 1 rest of the year. Flacco, I mean,
and Puka's out, but I don't know. I think JSN, if he keeps at this pace, I think JSN is wide receiver 1 of the year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Puka could have, but he got hurt.
I mean, dude, Jamar had 16 catches the other day. It's a top 10 reception game of all time. He's just ridiculous. I mean, he's so good. The fact that he actually has a chance to go back-to-back Triple Crown, which nobody's ever gotten to before, he could go back-to-back, is just... It's just outrageous. It's unbelievable, especially with the QB talent he has.
He can't be that close, though, right? Can he be
as
close
of right
enough
now, before the week begins, he's number 1 in receptions, number 2 in yards, and like number 3 in touchdowns.
16
after
receptions
Thursday night?
is 2.
Yeah, after Thursday night.
I think
that's how much he's caught up with the past couple of games, because he's just been going off the past few games.
Holy crap! I didn't know that.
It's funny. It's funny because I remember when I said my hot take last episode that Jordan Whittington would have 8 catches. Carter Caven, you were like, that's not really that hot of a take. I don't think you realize 8 catches is a monster game.
Yeah,
16 is 2 monster games in one. I saw a tweet that killed me. I'm sure you saw this too, Dom. He went 16 for 23, I think. And he had like 160 yards. He had 23 targets. The ball was thrown at him 23 times. He caught it 16 times. He had like 160 yards and a touchdown. And someone said he put up Jalen Hurts numbers. 16 for 23, 160 yards and a touchdown.
That was fire.
I mean, that's insanity.
Now that I think about it, we need to make a Chain Crew Twitter. Honestly,
We should do that.
because I can retweet that easily on there. I mean,
Jalen Hurts
but-
numbers is crazy.
Yeah.
So good.
But one thing I will say, 16 catches is a lot. The record for a game is 21 by Brandon Marshall. Do we ever think that gets broken? That's a lot of catches, dude. 21 is a shitload of catches.
I don't know. I want to say no.
I
It feels like you have to be playing an absolute idiot at defensive coordinator to let someone go
like
for 21.
Jamar, I felt like was getting the ball all freaking game, and he's still. I mean, he was only a third of the or a fourth of the way there.
I don't know though.
He was a fourth of the way away from breaking it. I mean,
I don't know. I mean,
you know what I mean.
23 targets in a shootout game. If he catches 5 more, he's at 21. I mean, he got 23 targets. Joe Flacco is going to continue to target him, especially because the Bengals throw a lot and their defense sucks. They're going to be in shootouts. They're going to be like the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC right now. All offense, no defense, like the Bengals were last year. I think they'll probably do it again this year. I actually do think Jamar Chase could hit 21 receptions this year.
I think he's very capable of it. It just has to be, the right moment, essentially.
If you check the Bengals schedule, I bet you they play some explosive offenses this year that are going to make them pass the ball all game.
So, Brandon Marshall, when he was on the Denver Broncos, December 13th, 2009, against the Colts, 21 of 28 targets for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns.
So, it was Manning's payback game against the Colts?
No, it was 2009.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I want to say the QB would have been Jay Cutler, which is kind of weird because Jay Cutler and Brandon Marshall played on the Broncos together and the Bears together, which is pretty sick. But
yeah, I saw a photo of the QB and it wasn't Jay Cutler. I had no clue who it was. Wasn't? If you Google it, it looked like some random dude. I had no clue.
So
I will
Peyton
say
was on the other
again,
side,
playing devil's advocate. I've seen Jamar. I think this is like almost a compliment to Jamar. I think he's almost too explosive to hit 21 catches. I'm shocked he hit 16 because like to hit 21
to the house.
Yeah, you need like 3 to 4 possession, and I just see him being Kyle Orton. Yeah, I just see Jamar being a guy, like you said, it's like he's a guy where one catch is too many because he has so much ability to go 60 yards to the house. If you're letting that guy catch it 16 times, I'm betting he's making a couple guys miss and taking one to the crib at least once. It's just like I just think he's too explosive almost. Brandon Marshall was a phenomenal, huge freak athlete who could get the ball and hold on.
Ridiculous, dude. If he had some better QBs throughout his career, he would have had, he would have been like top 10 in yards and shit. Like the fact he was so good. So good. But yeah, anytime you watch Jamar Chase play, like I'm not even kidding you, I would say 95% of the time after he makes a catch, he's making someone miss or breaking a tackle. It's unbelievable.
Yes.
Every single time. Like he's just incredible.
Whenever you watch him play and you don't want him to work, it like you pucker up a little bit. Once he has the ball in his hand, like it's very dangerous.
Very true. Yeah, Brandon Marshall finished his career with 12,351 yards and 83 touchdowns, and he had some god-awful QBs throughout his career.
Yeah,
he was so good at his peak.
Cutler, Fitzpatrick was my favorite year of him. Or, the Fitzmagic season on the Jets.
He had 1,500 yards in 2015 on the Jets with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean,
wow.
He was
so good.
That was the year they went. I think they beat, not to bring up bad memories, I think they beat the Patriots in Foxborough. And I thought that was the funniest thing I'd ever seen because I could not. It was like prime Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
Yeah, they beat that. Yeah, they beat us in overtime in December that year. I forgot about that actually because that was the year the Pats started off like 10-0 or 11-0, I want to say. And we ended up making the AFC Championship game, but everyone was hurt by then. Steven Gostkowski missed like a field goal and an extra point against the Broncos, and then it was tough.
And that game was to me on Belichick because you had prime Tom Brady goes into OT. You guys won the coin toss, and he goes, "We'll defend."
He's the biggest idiot of all time.
And then Fitzpatrick just drove down and scored, and you guys lost. And everyone was like, what the hell is Belichick doing? Give it to Brady.
Very
Love the
fair.
Fed.
Very fair.
We're good. We
But-
want to make a statement in overtime. We want to set the tone.
Yeah, it's kind of like when we played the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and he's like, I think I'm just going to bench our starting corner for the whole game and just see what happens. And then we lost to a backup. My GOAT had 500 passing yards and lost. I mean, what the hell?
Get cooked, Brady. You're washed.
In defense, you were playing superstar Nick Foles, who's had a
Big
long
dick
and
Nick.
illustrious career.
Yeah,
Dude,
I hate that motherfucker.
The
He
guy
ruined
had
my
one
life.
insane playoff run out of nowhere and disappeared into the atmosphere after that.
Yep. Dude, that just happens sometimes. He had that. Joe Flacco had that at one point, and Eli Manning miraculously had 2 of those freaking things. So, and Mahomes somehow has still been having his miraculous runs.
Give me another. Give me
All right,
another
the next
Reddit
one.
story.
Who has the best receiver duo in the NFL? We're going with more receivers here. Now, the photo they chose shows CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and then Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
Oh, dude.
Who out of those 3, who would you pick? And then overall in the NFL, do you think any duo is better than that?
I've been talking a lot. I'll let Carter go.
So we have Cowboys, we have Bengals, and then we have, who's the other one?
Eagles.
Eagles. God.
I'd say the Patriots are up there.
I'm
Titans.
thinking let's go like we have. Let's go based off of skill, and then let's go based off of situation, because I think based off of skill they are all freaking amazing. But I would probably
I mean, 3 of these guys are top 5 wide receivers, and then you have their second guy. So you kind of have to go with a mixture of. Yeah,
I want to
say Eagles.
I want to go all of them. I think Jamar Chase might be the quickest and most skilled receiver in the NFL, and T. Higgins.
Yeah,
is
Jamar's
still
the best
amazing.
out of all these guys for sure.
But
at that point,
AJ
you're kind of
Brown,
just
dude.
trying to weigh like how the second guy is along with everything.
Yes, AJ Brown is still a physical freak, and Devontae
amazing.
Smith is so fast, and his route running is good, and he actually has very, very reliable hands. Devontae Smith catches almost every ball thrown to him.
It would be interesting to see how Devontae would do as a wide receiver 1 for a team that has like an actual passing attack. Because I mean, we really haven't seen like the best of pretty much either of these guys because they're on a run first team.
Yeah, throw Devontae Smith
100%.
16 balls, and we'll see what numbers he puts up, because it probably could be similar to Jamar Chase, in my opinion. I think he has the skill. I think he's the talent. Now, situation-wise, Dak is playing unbelievable, and the Cowboys throw so fucking much. Joe Flacco all of a sudden looked amazing.
Balling.
Yes, Joe Pickens stopped fighting and started playing football because they needed him to, and he's been amazing. So I would say situation-wise, I'd go Cowboys, but Bengals a close second.
All right, so let me read some of the responses, or I'll find some responses. Shmeeks, go with your answer.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like Cowboys at number 1 just because I feel like Cowboys have 2 guys who've proven they can be number 1 receivers. I agree with Jamar Chase. I think T. Higgins is like a 1B. I think he is so good, but if you're rolling him out as your main guy, I don't know if I'm a huge fan of that. But I do love T. Higgins. I think he's one of, if not, he's top 3 possession in the. I mean, he just iced that game over Jalen Ramsey last Thursday. I mean,
Jalen Ramsey got
you trust him.
Cooked all game long.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
and he's still really good. Is the thing.
Oh yeah, no, that's not a knock on Jalen. I just think T. Higgins is a threat against any cornerback.
Yeah.
He's so big, he's so long. Some of my favorite catches I've seen in the NFL actually have been T. Higgins, just because I think his ability to catch it and then stretch out those ridiculously long arms is freakish. But my Eagles take, I do think AJ Brown. You can almost track the Titans falling from a playoff team into obscurity. It wasn't when they lost Derrick Henry. It was when they lost AJ Brown. They traded him for that first round pick and took Burks, and it was all downhill from there.
Yeah.
So he was the passing attack on the Titans. He comes to a run first team. I think he still is a wide receiver 1, but there's so much. I don't know. It's hard for me right now to trust him. compared to not in general, but just compared to CD and Jamar.
I think it's play calling. I think it's the offensive coordinators and play calling.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But
There is
agree.
2 teams I would like to throw on here, and get your thoughts on those: Vikings and Rams.
Thank you. God, I didn't want to bring it up, but I really think we have 2 elite receivers. But I didn't want to bring it up.
Well,
Addison,
one of them's getting traded to the Pats, so.
how about you shut your beautiful mouth? It
And
better
it's
be
not
Addison.
Addison.
Well, then it's Jalen Naylor.
Naylor, I hardly know her.
We've talked about who could step up and be amazing if they get the volume, and I have seen Jordan Addison get a lot of volume and play really well. So I love our 2 receivers. I think they're both ballers. But the Rams, God, dude, Devontae Adams doesn't look like he missed a step. Puka was playing, averaging 125 yards a game until he got hurt. Puka is unbelievable too. I think Puka is we need to argue is one of the most well-rounded receivers in the NFL. He is fast.
Awesome.
His route running is great. He has consistent hands. He's
a good
is
blocker.
like big enough. Yes, big enough to block, big enough to like challenge people in the air, but quick to break tackles to get around people. Like
he's dead ass
he's
one
amazing.
of those guys that I could have seen like be insane with like Tom Brady, because like that's like the perfect like player that would have been so good with Tom Brady. Those are like the guys that the Patriots used to love back in the day, was like really good route runners who are good at run blocking. Sadly, most of the guys they got were only good at run blocking. But yeah, so
Well, and Puka's not white.
Puka would have been awesome.
You got to be a white receiver to be on the Patriots.
That's true.
He's a little white. He's a little.
I would probably take freaking. I might take the Rams over at least one of these, honestly.
Yeah. Well, something I want to throw out when you said run blocking, I noticed it with Cup first, but I think Puka is like they do the same thing. Carter's still.
What makes him a little white? I mean,
he didn't get any sleep last night.
No,
no,
I love it. I love when you laugh at my jokes.
Yeah.
No, but Puka, I noticed it first with Cup. Like they do really good job of mixing in run block looks into their route running. So running at the defender and then turning it into a route. So when you brought up run blocking, it's like, yeah, because I've seen them do that to the Seahawks with a lot of success, especially at the goal line. Like run in to pretend to crack and turn it into a whip, and then they're just wide open on the flat, and it's just it's disgusting. And Tom,
I like that you said whip and flat.
oh, I didn't even know. Yeah, whip whip route and getting it in the flat. Let's pretend we're on an NFL podcast here.
Fuck you. I'm just glad that you said whip and flat in like the same sentence. It was just nice. I liked it. I'm not giving you shit. I genuinely liked it.
Oh, thank you.
I'm your daddy. Give me the next story. Come on, stepfather.
Okay.
I'm changing your names for the edit. No, I'm not. Because now I said it. No one will know what that means if I do.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, next question. Like I said, we're all about discussions today, so I'm picking the ones that I think would give the best discussions. Carter, how are you doing? Why don't you have a seat?
When Shmeek said Puka's a little white, that got me. I was thinking it, but I didn't say it.
We can tell.
Please.
The Patriots did only like white receivers. I mean, it's actually outrageous.
Yeah.
Hashtag cancel Bill, honestly.
Yeah.
Well,
straight up.
And also that you guys had an affinity for players named White as well.
That's true.
Let's not forget those
Tom
guys.
Brady. Tom Brady's
Devin
middle
White
name.
had a long career.
Which of these all-time scrimmage running back leaders in their prime would you add to your team today? Okay. Number one, Emmitt Smith, who had 21,579 scrimmage yards in 226 games. Number two, Walter Payton, who had 21,264 in 190 games. That's actually outrageous. The Emmitt Smith only had 300 total more yards than him in freaking 36 more games. I mean, just crazy. Frank Gore, I know who I'm not picking on this list, 19,985 in 241 games. Then we have Marshall Faulk with 19,154 in 176 games. And fifth is LaDainian Tomlinson with 18,456 scrimmage yards in 170 games. Now, what I want you guys to do here is go from the one you want the least and then cut each player out until you get to number one. That's what I want. I want you guys to have a little discussion there. Okay, so again, we got LaDainian, Marshall Faulk, Frank Gore, Walter Payton, Emmitt Smith. Who are you cutting first?
Frank Gore.
Easy choice. Easiest choice of your life.
I watched Frank Gore when he was kind of in his prime on the 49ers, and I want to give him his flowers because he has incredible patience and vision. Reminds me almost more of Le'Veon Bell, but not quite that severe in terms of kind of stop running entirely. I just think if we're talking to my favorite team, I don't think the Seahawks get the open holes that I would want for Frank Gore could be stuffed. I think he gets stuffed just like our running backs do now. So I'm going to cut him first
Drake
as
May
well.
Can have my open holes.
You know, I would like any of these running backs to be added to my team, because who doesn't want an elite running back?
Who are you cutting next? Frank Gore's gone. You got Marshall Faulk, LaDainian, Walter Payton, Emmitt Smith.
I would probably go Marshall Faulk. And then I tell you, the last three are tough. I mean, LT was ridiculous, but so was Emmitt Smith, and so was Walter Payton. I probably, God, I don't know.
After you guys come up with your list, I'll tell you mine.
I wasn't alive when the older
I was about
two
to
were
say
going.
I'm really in a bad spot here because I don't know much about Marshall Faulk or Walter Payton. I haven't really watched like highlights on them or anything, so I feel like I almost have to cut them.
Highlights on either of them?
I think I've watched highlights of Walter Payton and Emmitt Smith.
Okay, well, just to put it into context, Walter Payton, I mean, unanimously is probably number one or number two on most people's lists. There's like 70-year-olds who say Jim Brown, but who gives a shit, dude? That's like saying Bart Starr is the greatest QB. Let's just relax, man. Okay, the guy who played against mechanics and grocery store clerks. Man. And then Barry Sanders is obviously the other one that I think Barry Sanders is the GOAT, but that's besides the point.
I've seen Barry Sanders highlights. I have
dude
seen it. That's
averaged
ridiculous.
1,500 yards a season for his entire 10-year career. He's just,
wow.
I mean, there's a case to be made that Barry Sanders is the best player to ever play in the NFL. But that, once again, another story entirely.
In circles.
But you have to cut one of Marshall Faulk, LaDainian, I almost said William Payton. That's one of my friends. Jesus. Walter Payton, Emmitt Smith. You have to cut my friend Pate.
I don't know if I can cut LT.
All right.
That's all I'm going to say.
Schmeeks?
The issue, too, is that, like, I'd be looking for a running back to complement Walker, so I'd want someone with a little bit more oomph. And listen, I don't know if that'd be...
No matter who you're taking here, they're starting over Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Damn. These are the
Kenneth
goats.
Walker's amazing, but these
aside
guys
from
are
Frank Gore, who's a playing forever merchant, these are all goats.
I think.
Yeah.
I guess that's fair. Prime. I'm just gonna cut him. I need to watch highlights. Marshall Faulk. I don't know much about him. It's unfortunate.
Okay, so
I'll slap my wrist.
Who did you say, Carter?
List. I also did Marshall Faulk, and then my top three.
Marshall Faulk's off. Then you have LaDainian, Walter Payton, Emmitt Smith.
I love all of them. They're all incredible. They're all insane. I don't know who to pick. I don't know what to pick. Honestly, I want to hear. You're both making the same exact face with the same hand movements. I want to hear Tom's list.
Interesting.
Tom, I want to hear you debate and argue this because you, I think, are more prepared than I am.
I'm gonna
Me?
just finish my list before Dom does that. I'm gonna say cut
No, the
Walter
other
Payton
Dom.
next.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that one.
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson, yeah.
Okay.
I call him Dom.
Mm-hmm.
I heard he sent you that signed. Big fan of your work. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
I'm gonna cut
used
Walter
cougar
Payton
panties
next.
on him.
Same reason. I just don't know much about him. Then I think I'm gonna cut LT and I'm gonna keep Emmett. That's just finishing out my list.
Good job. Way to make a statement.
Oh, you don't like that?
Fuck you. I would go Frank Gore last. I'd then go Emmett, to be honest with you. And then I'd go Marshall, then I'd go LaDainian, and then I would go Walter Payton. That would be my list. I mean, Walter Payton was is still considered maybe the GOAT. I think Emmitt Smith, I would say he's a product of being on one of the most talented teams of all time with the best offensive line of all time. Like him and Barry Sanders were in the league at the same time, right? But Barry Sanders was on the Detroit Lions and putting up the numbers he was on maybe one of the worst offensive lines of all time. Well, Emmitt Smith had the greatest, unequivocally offensive line ever and was putting up, less numbers than Barry Sanders was. Obviously still amazing numbers, but I think the fact that they play at the same time, everyone chooses Barry Sanders over him is, the main argument to be had for that. Because if you swap their spots, I don't think Emmitt Smith still puts up the same numbers, but Barry Sanders easily puts up far crazier numbers than like we could even imagine. And then, LaDainian Tomlinson and Marshall Faulk, that's like pretty much just choosing between the same guy because they both were incredible pass catchers and runners of the football. But I personally would take LaDainian Tomlinson because, I grew up watching him and I freaking love LT. He has the most touchdowns in a season by a non-quarterback ever. Like, he was ridiculous. Frank Gore, we may as well have Ramondre Stevenson on here. And then Walter Payton. Walter Payton's just one of the GOATs. So I think it's very easy to put him at the number one out of all these guys. But I am a Frank Gore hater, unfortunately. I just am.
If you had to describe Walter Payton's running style to like me, who's never seen him, like his highlights, what would you describe it as? Like explosive, power, like all of the above?
Why don't we dead ass just look at some on the podcast right now? What does that hurt?
Do it. Let's pull it up. Pull it up.
Okay.
Doesn't hurt at all.
Pull it out.
I'm actually stoked
Whip
for this.
it out.
This is
Whip
like
out some WP.
This is when you guys first asked me, like, do you want to do this podcast? I was kind of hesitant, and I was like, dude, I talk about football for an hour with my guys without a camera, and like this falls in that category of like I would watch not Barry Sanders, Walter Payton highlights with you guys for free. I just do that like on a Friday night drinking a beer. So why not? Let's get it going.
So that reminds me of a couple weeks ago, a bunch of my buddies in Boise went to a wedding, and at the end of the night, they're all like, drunk, about to go to sleep, eating food back at the Airbnb, like the end of the night after the wedding, and they turn on Ashton Genty highlights, and all they do is sit there and watch Ashton Genty highlights at the end of the night.
Me and my boys will sometimes be in Discord together and just watch NFL highlights.
I love
that. It's a good time.
That is like, well, in Ashton Genty, I'm gonna make a bold claim. What is going on? Sorry. Oh, there we go. Ashton Genty, that game against Washington was debatably like one of the craziest running back games I've seen in my lifetime in a college setting. What he did to Washington State from PSU last year was like they just looked confused and frustrated.
He was all over him. I love that we were at that game. I love that we got to watch that game together because Ashton Genty put on a damn clinic. It was so amazing to watch.
Once you put wisdom with will on top of talent, you get what you call sweetness.
Sweetness.
Just powerful, fast.
Ooh, is that John?
Unbelievable
Madden
at everything.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
He's so sick, dude.
Holy crap!
Oh, he's got
Look at him,
cannon.
dude.
He's got a
Look
cannon!
at this freaking guy, man. This is like if you put Drake May in 80s football right now.
Shut the hell up.
Sweetness is a hell of a nickname.
It is.
It's this video.
I don't know. They're doing a little too much.
30 for 30 right now.
We kind of are.
Well, you know
Yeah,
what?
no.
What happened to the art of like set a beat and then just show me a guy running through someone's face?
Yep.
Yes.
100%. I mean, it is a well-made video, but it's not exactly what we need right now.
No, this is...
Look at him, though. Returning punts, returning kicks, 300 all-purpose yards. Rookie
No,
season.
dude, he's trucking his own players. Oh, that stutter step was disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm shocked he didn't pop a knee. Oh, yeah, he's shifty.
Yeah, he was freaking believable.
Oh, and then, dude, that run was everything. He
Yep.
shifted, he showed vision, he got his blocker out in space for him.
But he also he evaded 3 guys in the backfield immediately. He had no
Yes.
blocking.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Just so good. Just powerful, fast,
liked
everything
it.
you could want in a running back.
I
Thank you.
would change my list.
That's fair.
Do you have another story for us from
I
Reddit?
do, but I want to show you guys one more clip. Because it's
Oh my
perhaps the
gosh.
greatest highlight in NFL history.
It's going to be
Let's-
Tom Brady twerking or
No,
something.
it's not. It's going to be Tom Brady twerking on my fucking face, dude.
Could you imagine someone
I don't
first-time
have to
viewer
imagine.
coming in and they see like an AI-generated video of Tom Brady just getting after it?
All right,
Dude,
let's look at the GOAT, though, real quick, okay? Let's just look
Very.
at probably the best highlight of all time.
I love these. Dude, he had this guy looking left and right, upside down. Yeah.
Look at him. He's not even looking at the right place. Just unbelievable.
man.
He's looking to the wrong direction. Look at him.
Dude, he had guys
Barry
spinning in
Sanders
Sanders
guy's
has
circles.
ankles,
so
too.
much sauce, dude. He's just
This play
so
was
good.
incredible too because he actually left his feet.
Look at this guy. This is just one of the greatest football players that will ever play.
Oh my goodness, his shiftiness was next level. Yeah.
Yeah, it's never going to be matched again. He was so freaking stupid, dude.
I love him, but I want to say that we do still have some insanely athletic running backs in the NFL. Remember Saquon's juke,
I agree.
spin, a hurdle? That was unbelievable last year from Saquon.
I think pure stop on a dime, no one's like Barry Sanders, like at all. That's all I'm
Except
saying.
Maybe
Except for Drake
Ramondre.
May.
Fine.
Maybe
Ramondre as
Stevenson.
well. Yeah, we have 2 of them on the Patriots, thankfully.
His ability to stop on the dime at the one when you guys run him at the goal line is insane.
Yeah, he stops us on the one frequently, and I appreciate it so
He
much.
usually drops the ball before he gets in, just to make it interesting.
Very true. Very true. Okay, next
All right.
discussion.
Mm.
If
I'm so
Shedeur
curious
Sanders
next.
doesn't see the field at all, and the Browns end up drafting yet another quarterback for 2026, does Shedeur end up on a different team, and which team do you think that would be? Now, some of the comments, just to go through these, just to give you guys a little bit more time to think. Daver7692 said, I don't think we make it through the season without seeing him in some capacity. However, I don't think there's an avenue at this point where they don't draft a QB high if they were in the top 5 next year, especially with a second pick in the first round already. Then Real H-Town said, yes, he would ask for a release and they likely grant it, but he'll be starting in a few weeks. I could agree with that. I mean, I haven't seen anything from Dylan Gabriel to make me say like, oh, we won't see Shedeur this year. And then Objective Sky, I think is how you pronounce whatever it is, SCIE. He said, Flacco balling out, Bengals, good for him. Baker balling out, Bucks, good for him. Dylan, so-and-so, good for him. Deshaun really sucks. Questions now. What the hell is this what is he saying? Is this a Martian typing this?
Let me.
I think he's
He went on to
I think he's
say-
saying
He went to say common denominator Stefanski. More people who used to support him in the media now second guessing his mythical genius. Too many QBs that have been used and dumped. Do they all truly suck, or is Stefanski not good? Don't forget DTR and Zappy. Scrutiny on Stefanski now more than ever. I don't know why he was writing like that. It literally felt like I was having a stroke, and I still might.
Let me riff.
so,
Let me riff for a second.
Final comment.
God dang.
Final comment. This guy, Cod Full 2902, Buffalo Bills fan. He has the flare under his name. Nobody wants him. Everybody had the chance to draft him multiple times over and didn't. He's an unproven rookie. He's not even a good fit for a backup. Now, discuss.
Let me go. I think that the very first comment that you said, I agree that we will see him in some capacity. I think Dylan Gabriel has some talent, is capable, but I think at some point, yes, we will see Shedeur. Now, the fact that they think they'll take another quarterback is weird to me. The Browns need a better O-lineman. They need an elite wide receiver. I think that the Browns have bigger needs than quarterback. I would be shocked. I'd be shocked if they took a quarterback in the first round next year. I think that would be terrible GM and coaching moves. I think that they should take someone else. I think we will see Shedeur. If for some reason he was to move, he'd have to go somewhere where they desperately need some depth or a change up at quarterback. I could see maybe the Dolphins. I could see maybe, God, I'm trying to think of maybe the Jets, like an organization that needs some change or needs some youth. But I don't know. I don't know if, again, no one wanted him. I'd be shocked if someone was going out and trying to get Shedeur.
I think the reason people didn't want him is because of all the off-field like circus stuff, like the drama with his dad and all that stuff. Like, and he comes off pretty arrogant at times.
Yes.
Like, I think that was probably one of the main factors. Now, that being said, if he had the talent of someone like Cam Newton or Andrew Luck or something, he would have gone first overall. Like, I mean, but he just doesn't. Like, I think it made him go from like maybe like a fringe, like end of the first round, like maybe middle second, to falling to where he did because of all the off-field stuff. But I think you got to see what you have with him at some point, because I mean, I haven't seen anything from any of the Browns QBs so far where it's like, oh, they have their guy. Like, I don't think Dylan Gabriel is the guy. I think Shedeur has more talent than he does. So, like, at the end of the day, you got to see if he can put it all together and actually, show he has talent and can be good enough in the NFL before you decide whether you're going to take a QB or not next year or anything.
So
Dylan could have it.
2 points to that. I like what the comment you read, where it's basically like, I mean, all these quarterbacks having success other places struggled in Cleveland. So it's kind of hard to put a lot of criticism on Dylan, because it's like, if Flacco couldn't do it and he just went and dropped 33 on a team, and he couldn't even drop 17 on a team on the Browns.
That's the thing, though. The Bengals have such better receiving options.
Right.
I mean, Higgins is better than a receiver on the Browns alone, and then Jamar Chase is just an all-time talent.
I think point stands to like what Carter was saying, is like, at this point in time, you can't just keep drafting quarterbacks and saying, okay, this guy didn't work, try a new one. This guy didn't work, try a new one. At some point, you have to say, all right, let's build the team. And I'm not a coach, right? Stefanski would probably run circles around me, but I kind of agree with Carter, where if I was a Cleveland Browns fan, I'd be like, for God's sake, get some O-line help, get some weapons, and then let's worry about quarterback. To that point, too, I agree with you saying Sanders is a better option talent-wise than Dylan Gabriel, just from the little I've seen of both of them. The final point I wanted to make, though, was when you were talking about like off-season drama, I don't think he's done a lot to quell that. Like with Dylan Gabriel, or there was that really good example. You had Mac Jones go in as an 8-point underdog, beat the Rams, and he gets asked, do you think you can compete for the starting job. And he said, I was brought in to be a backup, and I'm going to win games until Purdy can come back. He is the starter. That same week, they asked Shedeur, are you, happy being the backup? And he did this. He did an incredible mime impression. I mean, spot on mime impression. But when you look
Yeah.
at guys who the NFL, I say this all the time, I don't think the line between a backup, especially when you consider Darnold was a backup at one point, Baker was a backup at one point, the line between backups and starters is razor thin. He is not just competing against 32 starters. He's competing against probably 40 to 50 guys that are at his talent level. And he needs to be able to say, no, I'm a backup. I'm not going to bring any drama. I'm going to, to get guys to develop him. But I think the smart thing would be, even if he doesn't start this year, that the Browns are going to try to develop him and Gabriel and surround them with weapons for next year. I have no clue what the Browns are going to do, though.
Yeah.
I mean, this all comes down to, the Browns had their franchise QB and they threw him away for Deshaun Watson. I mean, straight up. Obviously, before everything, Deshaun Watson was like a top 5 QB in the NFL.
He was.
But at the same time, you can't just throw away your franchise QB when you finally found him after so many decades of being awful. So, if the Browns continue to be ass, it's pretty much karma at this point. They completely screwed over Baker, and he won them their first playoff game in like 30 years back in like 2020. It's just an unbelievably bad job by the Browns on what they did with him. But back to the Shedeur thing, like I said, I think they at least need to see what they have with him. Like, if Dylan Gabriel continues to pass 50 times and have 200 yards, you got to at least see what Shedeur Sanders can do. Like, at the end of the day, I think he has more arm talent.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can read a defense as well as him or, be in the pocket as well as him. But at the same time, you have one guy who can try and make plays. So you may as well see what he can do if it continues to, be like this with Dylan Gabriel. But we'll see. I don't know. I could totally see him going to a new team next year. Who that could be, I have no clue. Will it be much of a better situation than the Browns? Because if a team needs Shedeur Sanders, they're going to be a pretty bad team just taking a risk on a guy who hasn't played yet. So I don't know. We'll have to see. It's gonna be really interesting. Schmeeks is gone. He's left the podcast.
No, I heard all of that.
Enjoy your retirement.
Sorry, I need to plug something in real quick.
No, you're fine too.
I heard what you were saying. It's gonna be a pretty bad team if they need Shedeur.
Okay, now next talking point actually goes along with this. Large K 299 or 2933 said, he's a Los Angeles Chargers fan, by the way. That's his flair. If you were a good young college QB prospect, which dysfunctional team would you be satisfied with playing for if drafted in the first round of the NFL draft? And he put the Jets and he put the Browns. Now, he goes further and he says, if both teams had a top 5 pick and selected you, would you demand a draft day trade or stay in college another year if you weren't a senior? To me, I'd rather choose to play for the Jets. They have better weapons than the Browns. The Browns have started more QBs since 1999 than most other teams' playoff wins. Damn near as much starting QBs as we have had American presidents. The Cleveland Browns are cursed. Would you choose Browns or would you choose Jets?
I think that the Jets organization is awful. I think the ownership, the GM, the coaching is just inconsistent. I think they have a bad culture. I think living in Jersey is terrible. I think that Stefanski
They haven't had a franchise
Cleveland,
QB like my whole life. It's crazy.
Yeah, I still feel like Stefanski is a decent coach, and I feel like the Browns have always got a competitive enough defense somewhat. And they are starting to put a little bit of weapons together. Harold Fannin is talented. Judkins looks good. Like, I think that I would go to the Browns over the Jets. I also think that I don't like the narrative that you can just go back to college or demand to go to a different team. If you are somehow in the 0.0001% of people good enough to make it to the NFL, just go fucking play. Just play, dude. Go play and make some money and show what you got. Who cares what team you're on? That's me. I just don't like that guys can come in and be like, I'm a rookie. I haven't even played in the NFL. I'm good enough to demand this. I'm good enough to demand that. I'm good enough to, I don't like it. I mean,
the last time we truly saw that was Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers. Like, Eli Manning dead ass saying he would not play for the Chargers, which I think is just like one of the most arrogant things I've ever fucking seen in my whole life.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess it worked out for both of them. Phillip Rivers, all-time
did.
QB. Eli Manning, got a couple Super Bowls. Not an all-time QB, but he got a couple Super Bowls. I don't know. It's interesting how if we asked this question like 2 years ago, it would be Jets very easily because they were coming off, a season where they had 2 Rookie of the Year players, one offense, one defense. Their defense was one of the best in the entire NFL. They had awesome weapons, and now it's like they're just so bad. And the Jets are so dysfunctional at developing QBs that at this point, I wouldn't be shocked if Zach Wilson at some point later on in his career ends up like having a Geno Smith route or something.
I agree.
Like, they're just so
100%.
I don't know what it is in that building, but every time they get a QB, they're just absolutely horrendous. We've seen 2 guys now go from being awful on the Jets to being really, really good starters with Sam Darnold and obviously Geno Smith, before this season. So
Yeah.
Both in Seattle.
it's gonna be exactly. Yeah, send Zach Wilson to Seattle after Sam Darnold leaves in a couple of years, and you guys
Jets
got
to
another good
Seattle
starter.
franchise.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, low key though, Zach Wilson's arm talent with JSN could be pretty fun if he, learns how to read a defense and play QB. We'll see.
Well, that's what they said about Darnold too. And, I think there's something to be said about, putting your quarterback in a position to win. I mean, the Seahawks, what people always say is, well, they're passing so efficiently, even though they're the most run-heavy team in the NFL. And it's like, those two go hand in hand. If you watch the Seahawks, if you Google that, we are currently percentage-wise on play calling the most run-heavy team in the NFL. We're not good at it, but we do it because we want play action. And if you watch it, it's very obvious that we want people in the box so that Darnold can throw downfield. And that's part of the reason he's so efficient. And it's like, it's not, I'm oversimplifying it, right? I think, I think Kubiak is a genius and we're very lucky to have him at OC. But having a good OC, having a good offensive mind head coach, Darnold, if just sending a guy out there and expecting him to be Tom Brady, read the defense, pass every play. You can't do that with these young guys.
Yes, it's how I felt watching the Bengals throw Jake Browning out there and put him in the shotgun and expect him to throw all over the field and not have a run game. And they have one of the worst rated O-lines in the NFL. I completely agree. I think you have to set a quarterback up for success. You got to give him easy passes. You got to establish a run game. You have to not put too much on his shoulders all at once or early. And I think that's maybe an issue with the Jets is they have not had an amazing O-line. They have a great running back. They just haven't really established an amazing run game. I feel like in the last couple of years, you've got to have a decent run game to set up the play action, to make it easier for your quarterback. The more I watch football, the more I think that you can tell which coordinators and coaches are setting their teams up for success and some that are just like, I hope this works. And it just,
right.
I just feel like you can see it a little bit. But also experience matters. Like, again, I go back to the Bengals. Jake Browning has, started a couple games last year, started a couple things this year. And then you go to Joe Flacco, who has 15 more years experience in the NFL and can make those reads, can get the ball out quick, can just take a 3-step, throw it. Just read it, be like, boom, I know where I'm going, get the snap and throw, and not freak out in the pocket and not make issues and make wrong decisions. Like, experience matters, man. Experience matters, especially the quarterback position.
Like I said, I would love to see, I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if Zach Wilson is yet another Jets QB that goes on to have a decent career as a starter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, all of these guys going there, being bad, and then turning out good on other teams. I mean, at this point,
it's crazy.
It can't be a coincidence at this rate.
Right?
Like,
100%.
If a player goes to a good organization, they're more than likely, if they have the talent, they're going to be good. Like, it wouldn't shock me if a lot of those QBs from that, 2021 draft, if they went to a good situation, they would actually be good QBs. Like, I mean, Trevor Lawrence, he's incredibly inconsistent. He has games where he looks unreal and then others where he looks, just mid. And I have to think, like, if he didn't go to the Jags or if he didn't have a situation where, his head coach like got fired mid-season rookie year, he had like multiple different offensive coordinators his first like 2 or 3 years in the league. Like these guys, obviously, if you're a first overall pick, you're going to a situation that's pretty dysfunctional unless like it's from a trade to get that number 1 pick. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
it's crazy.
And three teams I want to bring up too: the Giants, the Colts, and the Giants, the Colts, and the Titans. If you would have asked me like a year ago, 2 years ago, I would have been like, dysfunctional, whatever. I mean, the Giants are 2-4. They look like they're having fun I guess they're 2-1 under Jackson Dart. But they're establishing a run game with Cam. The Titans, I think they're obviously struggling. They just fired their head coach. So it's like, how much of this do you think they're going to keep developing Cam Ward? But then the Colts are a really interesting one because a year or two ago, you would have said, well, they can't figure it out. They can't figure it out. They get Daniel Jones, and suddenly he looks like an all-star. But they got a great O-line. They got a great run game. And a lot of people made fun of that owner, the new owner, because she wanted to be on the sideline listening. But coaching matters. I tell people, I think the AFC feels like the NFL quarterback division or conference, and the NFC feels like the NFL coaching conference. Because I look, besides Reed, I think like the next top 5 coaches are in the NFC. And it's like Shanahan, I'm sick of it. Plug and play. He just puts anyone in there and they torch us. And it's and I'm sick of Shanahan. I'm sick of McVay. Campbell's a great culture builder.
I
have
will add to that Kyle Shanahan situation. Do you guys remember when Lamar Jackson was a free agent a couple of years ago and no teams went after him?
Like when teams pretty clear that the Ravens are going to re-sign him.
I do not remember that.
Well, okay. Well, regardless, the rumors were that no teams were going to be going after him. Like the Falcons, the Niners, all these teams could have had a chance to get Lamar Jackson. Can you imagine with how good Kyle Shanahan is at putting QBs into his offense, how good that team would have been with Lamar freaking Jackson and Christian McCaffrey and all these other weapons? I mean, do you guys think they would have won a Super Bowl if they had Lamar Jackson? Do you think they would have won like 1, 2, anything like that?
Yes. Yes.
Definitely
the Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo, because Jimmy Garoppolo, I think, was maybe a bottom. I think there were backups in the league that were better than him when they went to the Super Bowl with him. I think they would have won. I mean, that's
I will say with Jimmy Garoppolo, he wasn't ever an elite player, but he did know how to win games, and he was very, very efficient before all of the injuries. He was very, very, very efficient. He still has like one of the highest passer ratings of all time. Like he may have not been like a game changer, but he knew how to get the team down the field. I would say he's like the ultimate I think he's the ultimate example of like a game manager. Like he just went with all of the game plan, went perfectly through with it. And later on in his career, he threw a lot of picks and played pretty bad. But I think before all of his injuries, like those first couple of years in San Francisco, he was a very efficient QB. Not like top 10 or elite or anything, but yeah.
I definitely think that's super. I hear what you're saying. I think if you sub him out with Lamar, I think Lamar does everything he can do. Then gives them the explosive. Yeah.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. I was just saying that Jimmy was actually pretty solid for that Super Bowl run and back in the day.
Fair.
But he also, he overthrew Emmanuel Sanders on a touchdown pass that would have, iced the game for them. So it's like at the end of the day, Lamar probably hits that.
Yes.
But final discussion point for today, boys. I think this is the most interesting one of the day. As long as you guys have watched football for 10 years, which, I believe you probably have. Who had the better prime as a defensive player? Now, after I ask this question, I want you guys to name 3 more players after this that you've seen that are the best defensive players you've ever seen yourself. But who had the better prime as a defensive player? Aaron Donald, J.J. Watt. Go.
Oh God, I was thinking to myself, I was like, please don't say J.J. Watt. He was so
I want
insane.
Aaron Ronald. I wanted to say Aaron Donald. Aaron Ronald. What the
Aaron Waddle.
Aaron Waddle.
Aaron Ronald.
Aaron Donald with Jalen Waddle's
I'm
speed.
a big fan of Aaron Ronald.
Wait,
Yeah, I mean,
better question. Who would you prefer? Aaron Donald with Jalen Waddle's speed or Jalen Waddle with Aaron Donald's strength?
dude, that's the issue with Aaron Donald. Something I thought was really interesting. Kind of Aaron Donald was the guy who put me on this. Was like when you watch defensive players, a lot of them use speed to strength or whatever they call that when they transition that into that pass rush. And Aaron Donald really did not have he wasn't hitting a lot of swim moves. He wasn't hitting a lot of he didn't have a plethora of moves he'd hit. He had this one freakish jump cut he'd hit guys with. And it was so nasty. If you go and you Google
O.J.
Aaron
Simpson
Donald
hit a jump and then cut somebody once.
It's fair. I gotta say, J.J. Watt's prime was incredible. It was for me, I think I just gotta give it to Donald, mostly because I was so sick of him taking over games in division against the Seahawks that he has ingrained himself as a terror in my brain. So I'm very emotional about this pick, but I gotta go with Donald just because I watched him repeatedly abuse Russell Wilson and his speed. I mean, we're talking about Jalen Waddle's speed. He would have been freakish with that. His speed was already insane for how big he was. He could move so fast.
Yeah, but imagine him with a 4.3. You know what I'm saying?
This is hard to not pick Aaron Donald. The guy who was leading the league in sacks as a defensive tackle. They'd have to double him or triple him. He was an absolute menace. But J.J. Watt had 20 sacks in a season, and this is a passing league, dude. A defensive end can change a game. I mean, I would probably have to say
Donald also had 20 sacks in a season once, though.
Aaron Donald had 20 sacks in a season?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
he had
that.
multiple with 18, I think.
It was 2018 or 19, I want to say. Somewhere on there.
I just feel like J.J. Watt.
18. It was
J.J. Watt's the only to have 2 20-plus sack seasons, though, I will say. He's the only player.
He could spin
ever.
you. He could bull rush you. He has incredible length of his arms. He's a leader. He's vocal. I just think I'd have to go J.J. Watt. I don't know. There's just something about him. I love defensive ends. And I think right now, again, who would I want on my team? Both of them. But
can't go wrong with either.
I think that we see a lot of amazing outside linebackers and defensive ends. But we've talked about it, there are also some really, really amazing interior defensive linemen now in the NFL. So you can't go wrong with this pick, but I would say, at least for my team, what I want or need, I'd probably go J.J. Watt.
Like I said, you can't go wrong with either. I mean, you put either one in their prime in the NFL right now, they're the best defensive player in the league, just like they were in their primes. I mean, they're just absolutely incredible. But I just want to put out a stat that I think is one of the craziest stats that you'll see for a player. So let me find it real quick. But I also want to point out,
God, if this is Drake May.
From 2012 through 2015, J.J. Watt won 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards in 4 years. So the only other guy in there was year 2 Luke Kuechly in 2013, who, I mean, for my money, that's the best middle linebacker of all time. But
that's a great
2017 through 2020, Aaron Donald had a similar thing. He won it in 2017, then 2018, then Stephon Gilmore won it in 2019, then Aaron Donald won it in 2020. And I mean, you could make the case for, either one of those guys winning even more than that. I mean, especially Aaron Donald. J.J. Watt, the only reason he didn't win more is injuries. He didn't have the longevity that Aaron Donald did. Aaron Donald, you could probably name him Defensive Player of the Year for 80% of his career.
Yes.
But the stat I wanted to get out there
was there another part of the question? The question was pick one, but wasn't there another part of the question? Like,
I also
more.
wanted to add, because I'm sure those two are two of the top 5 you've ever seen. I wanted to ask you guys who are 3 of the other top 5 defensive players you've ever watched. But before we get into that, I'll let you guys think while I say this. The most tackles for a loss in a season, J.J. Watt is 3 of the top 3 for a season ever. So now,
whoa.
in 2015, he had 29 tackles for loss.
Wow.
In 2014, he had 29. And number 1 all time in 2012, he had 39. 39.
Those are just tackles for loss. That doesn't include sacks.
That's just tackles for loss. 39, though. I mean,
That's sick.
the closest anybody's come to that since then was Max Crosby in 2023 had 23. That's still 16 less. Like, he pretty much almost had to double what he did that year to pass that. It's just an unbelievable stat. I think that's something that's probably never going to get beaten, because like when there's a stat where the next closest guy is like 66% of the way there, I just don't think that's going to be, someone's going to have to
insanity.
be incredible to pass something like that.
And that's on a 16-game window too,
Yeah.
which is
Mhm.
I was
crazy.
thinking that.
Exactly. Like it's going to be damn near impossible for someone to beat that. Like the closest Aaron Donald got was 25, and that was 2018. Still 14 away from tying it. Like, just crazy. Now, who are
Yeah.
your 3 players?
I have thought of a couple. Ray Lewis at middle linebacker, especially at that time when the league was more run heavy. Ray Lewis just dominated. Ray Lewis was a fucking monster. And then Darrelle Revis had a couple years that were just insane. You couldn't throw on Darrelle Revis for a couple years there.
Yeah, I think if you're going for peak, Darrelle Revis is probably the best cornerback of all
Yes.
time.
And then
Yes.
Homer pick, Jared Allen for the Vikings had a couple insane seasons with
incredible.
sacks. When we made a playoff run with Brett Favre and AP, we actually had a pretty good defense, and he was a big reason for that. He had like 17 and a half sacks, I think, one season, and his celebration was amazing. So those are the players that come to mind for me. I know there are others, but those are guys. And then I also think about Terrell Suggs, honestly, the other linebacker for the Ravens at that time, was an amazing run stuffer, but also could get after the quarterback, was pretty quick, and had a lot of sacks too. Terrell Suggs was pretty sweet for a while.
Very true. Yeah, I mean, won Defensive Player of the Year as well. Incredible player. I would go Ed Reed. I mean, I think that's the best safety of all time. I don't
Troy
see
Polamalu though.
Troy Polamalu was awesome, but Ed Reed is just the greatest ball hawk ever. I don't think anybody I've ever seen comes close, quite frankly. I would listen to someone make an argument that he's just the best DB of all time, straight up. Like, he's just so ridiculous. Next up, Revis as well. In his prime, he's just, I mean, nobody could pass on him. He had that 2009 season where he played like so many elite players: Randy Moss, Ocho Cinco, Terrell Owens, like pretty much the best receivers a corner could go up against, and he locked all of them down. And then number 3 for me would be Luke Kuechly. I've just never seen a linebacker play like he did. I mean, like, if you guys watch any of like the documentaries on him or anything, there's so many plays where he knew exactly what was happening before it happened. Like, his attention to detail with like studying the tape and everything was just next level. And on top of that, he was just an athletic freak. So, and I think it's a travesty he wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he'll be getting in this year. So, but regardless, those are my 3. Schmakes?
So I feel bad bringing this up after Ed Reed and Darrelle Revis, but I need to look at the stats for Ed Reed. I know people have gotten mad at me for saying this. In my life, I haven't watched Ed Reed live. I think Earl Thomas, so much of what the Seahawks wanted to do stemmed from the fact that whenever that ball was going more than 20 yards downfield, he was there. I mean, he was just omnipresent on the field. He hit like a Mack truck. He broke Rob Gronkowski's ribs. I mean, the guy was just a freak. And he stood, and in my opinion, and this might also be a hot take, and a team with guys who I think are possible Hall of Famers like Bobby Wagner, maybe
Sherman.
Richard Sherman, maybe KJ Wright. Yeah.
Bobby and Richard are easily Hall of Famers. The only one who's a question mark is Cam Chancellor, and that's only because he got hurt and didn't play long enough.
Cam, yeah, I think Earl stood above all of them. I think that Legion of Boom operated with the understanding that we're going to hammer people up close because if they go deep, Earl will be there.
In
see more.
Schmiggs' defense, for his biased take, Earl Thomas is probably the best safety of the 2010s. I don't think there's any argument for that. He was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, he was. I mean, at the very least, he was. I haven't seen anyone since who I think makes the deep ball like just single high safety. When he was back there, the deep ball was almost not an option against him. He could cover the whole field. I got two other guys that that didn't get brought up. I think for kind of a fun one, I think Vince Wilfork was an insane run stuffer.
My goat.
I loved watching that guy. He was such a tree stump in the middle of that defense.
Yeah.
And then one of my favorite quotes, you know I'm a quote guy. DeMarcus Ware talking about
Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes. Pass me the sushi. Let me explain. No, I'm just kidding. DeMarcus Ware talking about a young Von Miller when they brought him in. He said, I remember a play where, and this isn't verbatim, I'm summarizing here. He said, I remember a play where I got off the ball perfectly, beat my man as fast as I could, and as I rounded the corner, Von Miller had already sacked him. And just Von Miller, and he led that Broncos team all the way to their Super Bowl. That was not Peyton. That was not anyone. I mean, Von Miller was the captain of that Super Bowl team.
The corpse of Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl because of that defense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, dude.
Yes.
Von Miller was one of, I mean, you know, obviously Myles Garrett is probably the most dominant. But in terms of just like running around a guy, he was a ghost on that edge. Guys could not touch him. He was incredible for a speed rusher.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah,
that's a great
that
pick.
that playoff run by Von Miller through the Super Bowl is still one of the greatest performances in NFL history. Another honorable mention I want to put out there is prime Khalil Mack.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think he's still the only player ever to get All Pro on the defensive side of the ball in two different positions. During his Defensive Player of the Year season, he got an outside linebacker and defensive end. Still the only guy to do that.
Damn.
Unfreaking real, dude. Just unreal. But yeah, I like those picks. I mean, the Earl Thomas one, as biased as it sounds, he really was incredible. So, I mean, if you didn't watch Ed Reed, then I completely understand. He's probably, you know, one of like the 5 that would be up there for sure since like the year like 2000. So, I like you guys' picks. I like you guys' picks.
I liked these questions.
Thanks.
There was a
we had a lot of discussions. This is our longest Reddit one ever. So
yes, talking about current players, past players.
We're on a trend.
Mm-hmm.
We like to talk.
Right.
Watched highlights. Had an intervention.
We did watch highlights. We did have an intervention.
We did watch
wow.
highlights, yes.
Wow.
Low key, it would kind of
What a
be
time.
fun in the future if we do a live stream to just watch highlights with people. I think that
I
would be a good
love
time.
that idea.
That'd be
I
so
love
sick.
that idea.
That would be lit. But yeah. All right, boys. This has been the intervention crew.
Hit us with an outro, Carter.
Carter can do the outro.
Stay.
My name is Carter, and I've been interventioned.
Get some sleep, kids. You need it.
Alrighty. Have a good one. Love you guys. See ya.